So thanks to the folks at Skybound, I recently had an opportunity to interview Brandon Thomas, one of the co-creators of Excellence. And immediately following that conversation with him, I was inspired to take some action. And I want to show you what it is that I actually picked up as a result of that interview and that discussion with him. But before I get to that, I actually want to show you a brief excerpt from the longer interview that was conducted a few weeks ago with Brandon. I want to take one step back first, and I want to take this step back because as successful as Excellence has been, as much attention has been given to Excellence, my channel is comprised of new collectors, old collectors, some that have been out and are now back, new readers, right? And so not everyone may be familiar with Excellence. So can you do me a favor and give me like the elevator pitch, the cliff notes as to what Excellence is for somebody that may have never heard anything about it outside of what you just said over the last 10 minutes?
All right. Well, Excellence is the story of Spencer Dales. He's 18 years old when the series starts. He is the product of this famous magical family that has protected the world covertly for generations. And now it is his turn to come into his own power and become a part of this magical force that his father is a high-ranking member of. And what happened is that his magic developed a little later in life than the usual kids. And so it led to an estrangement between him and his father, which exists in the current day. So it's a really cool series. It's about, there's like great magic in it. There's great action sequences in it. The visuals and the designs by artist and co-creator Kari Randolph are amazing. But at its core, it's really the story of a father and son that are trying to understand each other, that are trying to get back on the same page while having a very familiar kind of generational conflict where the young guy comes in and looks at this organization and he's like, what is this? Why are we doing this way? We should change. We should blow everything up and do it different. We can do better than this. So it's a really fun, but what we think is kind of a deep and rewarding take on kind of like a father-son conflict with all of this kind of cool magical stuff happening as a backdrop.
So that's an excerpt from a much longer conversation that I had with Brandon Thomas. And we not only spoke about Excellence, we spoke about several of the other projects that he is currently working on that are going to be forthcoming. And I am excited about those things, and I think he is certainly as well. But if you're curious as to what that longer conversation sounded like, you can actually find it linked in the description of this video because the video is located here on the YouTube channel. With that said, as I mentioned, I was inspired when I had the conversation with Brandon to do a couple of things. First, I immediately went to my bins again to identify books that I needed to upgrade because I didn't have really good copies of them, or books that I was actually missing. As a result of that dive into my collection, I immediately went to the internet to pick up some additional copies again because I read the book prior to the interview. I was inspired by the conversation and I wanted to make sure that I had my bases covered because I enjoyed the story and I enjoyed the conversation. So on the table in front of me are some of the books that I either replaced or picked up for the first time. First among them is issue number 2, and this is actually the A cover, and you'll see that this one looks very similar to one that I'm about to show you here in a second, but I went ahead and got a replacement copy of that. Here is a 2B, and I had never seen this cover before, and I saw it online on mycomicshop.com and decided to go ahead and pick it up. I thought it was a cool cover, a little bit of an action shot there. Next up, this is 2C, and this looks just like the A cover, except instead of green, it is yellow, and so that's the big difference there. Next, I picked up a replacement copy of issue number 3. Thought this was a pretty cool cover here. This one is basically the two brothers that are facing off right there. And again, this is 3A. And I had never seen this one before. This is 3B, a little bit of a family tree. I think that's essentially what they're trying to depict there. I had never seen this cover before and went ahead and snagged it to add it to the collection. Here is a replacement copy for issue 4. Again, fantastic story. If you guys have not read this, highly recommend you check it out if you like magic or any of that kind of stuff. Here is a copy of 4B that I also had not seen before, so I went ahead and snagged that. I like yellow covers, and it's not often that you see covers with flowers on them, so I went ahead and picked that up. And then the last two books here are issue number 10. This is one that I did not have in the collection. And then I also picked up the 10B. And again, I thought that was a pretty cool cover featuring, a little bit of a family scene there. So I went ahead and snagged that. So in addition to picking up those books to add to my run of excellence, which I now have the complete run, I also went ahead and supported their Kickstarter campaign. I did not pull the trigger on the most expensive one that would allow me to appear in a comic at some point in the future. Did not pull the trigger on that, but I did support the campaign, and I'm looking forward to getting that hardcover of, I think, issues 1 through 10 at some point in the future when they actually release it. So definitely a cool couple of guys that are putting together an awesome title that I wanted to make sure that I supported in a few different ways. So there you have it. That is essentially my haul from Excellence. I want to thank you all for taking the time to watch this video. If you enjoyed it, I certainly want to encourage you to hit the thumbs up button, leave a comment behind. Let me know what you think about Excellence if you've actually read it. Definitely interested to hear what people's thoughts are. And if you need to reach out to me, feel free to do so on Instagram at Regie Collects. Take care.